Okay. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Mr. Clerk, reestablish the presence and verify the presence of quorum.
Councilwoman Campbell. Councilman Leon.
Here.
Councilman Stevens.
Here.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Here.
Councilman Williams.
Here.
Vice Mayor Harris. Mayor Gilbert.
I'm here.
You have a quorum, sir.
All right. Let's see. We need to put this in a proper posture. Madam Attorney, well, Mr. Clerk, go ahead and read the online script.
Okay, yes, sir. On March 20, 2020, Governor Ron DeSantis issued Executive Order number 20-69 relating to local government public meetings and has extended that order by virtue of Executive Order number 20-179. The governor's executive order suspends current laws that require quorum be present in person and that a local government body meet in a specific public place. It authorizes local government bodies to use the communication media technology such as telephonic and video conferencing as provided in section 120-54, subsection B, subsection 2 of the Florida statutes. The city is using Zoom to hold this virtual council meeting. The Zoom platform does not require the public to purchase or download any additional software or equipment to watch this meeting. Zoom is a cloud platform for video and audio conferencing, collaboration, chat, and webinars across mobile devices, desktops, telephones, and room systems. Public comment will occur as they always do at the council meetings during public comment and when the chair opens the meeting for public comment. Anyone wishing to participate will have 2 minutes to speak. How residents be recognized to speak utilizing the Zoom application. If you are using a mobile device, click the raise hand icon on the bottom of the screen. If you are using a computer or a laptop, click on the participations icon on the bottom of the screen, then click the hand icon to raise your hands. There are 2 ways to view the meeting on your screen. One is gallery view and the second is speaker view. Gallery view allows you to view multiple participants at the same time. Speaker view allows you to view whomever is speaking at this time, while other participants will be on top in smaller squares. Please make sure to mute microphones when not speaking. If possible, use headphones to mitigate sound feedback. When addressing the council, please state your name, last name, and your address. All comments submitted will be included as part of the public record for this virtual meeting and will be considered by the city council prior to any action taken. Everyone participating in this virtual meeting is required to maintain decorum. No clapping, applauding, heckling, or verbal outbursts in support, opposition to a speaker or his or her remarks shall be permitted. No signs or place cards shall be allowed. No person other than the person having the floor shall be permitted to enter into any discussion either directly through the chair. No question shall be asked of a council member except through the chair. Any person making personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks or who shall become boisterous, rowdy, disruptive, or making personal comments while addressing the council shall be barred from further participation in this virtual meeting. If at any time during the virtual public meeting the ability of the public to listen or participate is interrupted due to technical difficulties, the meeting will immediately pause and will resume once the issue has been resolved. The city has published an agenda as well as included a notice pursuant to our city code, the items and topics that will be discussed at this virtual meeting. Additionally, the public will have been given the opportunity to provide public comments during this meeting. Moreover, section 286.0114, subsection 4, subsection C of the Florida statute specifically authorizes the city to prescribe procedures or forms for an individual to use in order to inform the council of a desire to be heard to indicate his or her support, opposition, or neutrality on a position. Mayor and council members, are you comfortable with all the notices provisions set forth and these uniform rules and procedures we have established for this virtual meeting?
Yes. All right. Madam Attorney, so just to get this in the right posture, we don't have this is not a public hearing on this item, right?
It's not a public hearing, but we allow public comment.
We've
for all.
already had public comment.
Okay, right. So
Yeah.
at this point, it's just council deliberation, Mayor.
Okay, so then I'm gonna move 5.1 generically, and I need a second for that so that we can have discussion. And then later on, we can insert a name after the questions, if there are any. So I move the item.
Second.
It's been moved and it's been seconded. All right, questions or comments from the council?
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. As it relates to PREA, I heard Halifax mention that they contributed $10,000 to Carol City High School. So is PREA in the position to do that as well, or have they done something similar to that?
They haven't done that. You might not be, our purchasing code allows for points in bids for certain things that you do. And one of the things that I think that I actually added years ago as a council member was that if you contributed to local schools, that you could get certain points. So they would have had to do it before then now to be considered. They can give their money to whoever they want to, but it wouldn't be considered now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions, comments from the dais? Okay. No, if there are no other questions or comments from the dais, I'll just make some comments and then I'll make a motion. I've had experience with both PREA and the league, and quite frankly, I think they're both fine. Stephen Johnson and Alan Flores were the people, the brokers, and the people who actually got us to go with PREA years ago when we changed insurers. One of the things I know that he said that it was for a better product, and I think the product was fine, but primarily we made the change because of the absence of diversity that the league has shown since then. We were happy with league services, but we wanted more diversity as a city. And they had taken the position that we couldn't have an opinion about that. And you all know how we are about not having our opinions. So we had our opinion and we made it real with our vote. So I've never had a problem with either service. I don't think that we have as a city. We were happy enough with FMIP. We were happy enough with PREA. I'm looking at their proposals. Mr. Manager, through your procurement person now, or Mr. Clay, whoever can answer this, I'm comfortable with the services. Where are we at on the pricing? Is the pricing equal?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Manager.
I'll have Mr. Parkin answer that question. Thank you.
We're bringing them over right now.
I was gonna say, the reason I didn't call him Cam, because I don't see him on the screen.
Oh,
We're
Okay,
bringing them over right now.
he's here
you're bringing
now.
him up. Okay.
Mr. Clerk, please bring purchasing staff back in.
Doing that right now.
Good morning again, Mayor and Council. Just wanted to state that PREA did make contribution to school. I think they made a contribution of $5,000. Mr. Mayor, could you please repeat your question for me that you want me to respond to?
Are the pricings the same? Is the pricing the same?
No, on the broker proposal, their fees and PREA fee is $50,000 and Halifax fee is $45,000.
Okay, and how about the coverage? It's the same quote for the coverage?
This RFP was for broker services. We didn't ask them to submit a price sheet for the insurance.
Do we know what the insurance quotes are?
We have a renewal quote from PREA. We don't have a quote from Halifax, and the HR reported that they did request one, but were never provided with one.
Is Halifax on?
Yes, they are. We'll bring them over right now. All right, Mr. Flores is on right now.
Hello?
Okay, Mr. Flores, regarding the insurance quote, I'm trying to figure out, are they the same price for the quotes?
I wouldn't know that. I haven't seen what Pidgeot's quote is. I am in possession of the league's quote. And so, you know, part of what happens is if we were to be selected, we would negotiate with the league to make sure it's the best possible pricing. We haven't had the chance to do that as we haven't been selected, but we do have a quote in hand that we would want to take a look at and finalize if we were to be selected.
Okay, Priya's quote is 1.587.
Okay.
What's your quote?
Mr. Mayor, I do apologize, but I can get you the number in less than 20 seconds. Can you just give me 1 second, please?
Sure.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so the number that I see here is we have our total at 1.795. Yeah, our total would be 1.795, but that's without any kind of negotiation whatsoever. That's just essentially adding my fee onto what they have. And we never got a chance to work with the league. They were requested this number by HR. They gave it, they didn't give it to HR, but they indicated to us that they would allow us to view it. But we have not been in negotiating process about it at all. I haven't had a chance to evaluate it, assess it, see what I need to do to make adjustments, et cetera. I don't know if it's got the right exposure information, et cetera.
Okay. All right, those are my questions. Questions from the council?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Leon.
quick question. Priya said that they were able to determine whether we get premium or FMIT. How do they determine that? On what?
I guess because they're brokers and they can pick either insurer.
Which one is best suitable for us?
Yeah, they can pick either insurer. Yes.
And it's a 1-year bid?
I think it's a 1 year with renewals. I think we do with renewals one, we do 1 year. I think we do 2 renewals, but I'm not sure. Mr. Manager, do you know how many renewals we do?
Mayor, that'll be subject to negotiations, but normally we do a is it a 2 year? 1 year with a renewal.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, may I?
No, you may not, unless the council person asks you a question. Councilwoman Wilson.
Okay, the quote that they gave us, are we allowed to accept that if we don't have it in front of us? If it wasn't submitted as a part of the proposal?
Well, we're reviewing, we're picking a broker to go out and get insurance right now.
Right.
So we're not accepting a quote anyway. We're picking a broker.
So my point is, my question then, even though they're brokering, doesn't that mean that he's gonna get pricing?
They are going to have to get pricing.
But we can't.
And this is going to happen in short order too, because it has to be done by the end of the month.
Mhm.
So they're going to have to get pricing. The broker chooses to insure. Priya can write, I guess, for anyone. So that's what they said. And then, yeah, the question is just who we want as the broker at this point. Who do we want as the broker? I don't know. I'm processing this right now. Are there any questions or comments from council? My initial thoughts on this, and maybe this might spur some conversation, is that I know, and I'm more familiar with brokers from the brokerage firm that's at Halifax. I know the people, and they worked with us the last time, and they brought us to Brown and Brown, and so I've been happy with their service. But I've been familiar with them quite candidly, but I am concerned about the quote from that they're going to bring. So, Mr. Johnson or Mr. Flores, can you all talk to me about that quote? Because from my perspective, what's the budgeted amount? What do you put in the budget for this, Cam or Clay?
It's about 1.5 million there.
Okay. So we're not going to spend more than the 1.5 million that we said we were going to spend for coverage. We're just not going to do it. So I passed my budget last week. That's what's in there. That's what we're going to spend. So could you all talk to me about the process? Because I'm comfortable enough with you all as a broker, but I need to understand how that price is going to work out if your quote is higher.
Mr. Mayor, thank you for the question. Now, that is part of the reason why you select a broker is their demonstrated experience in negotiating, right? So our talents lie in the art of negotiation with the carriers to bring down the cost. And so that exact ability is what has made, is what I've been able to bring in the past, what we did last year when we had a quote that was $100,000 less. But that takes work that I am committed to doing very, very, very quickly, calling the League of Cities immediately. But I would like the opportunity to improve the price, since as a broker, I've never been given that opportunity from the city, whereas the incumbent has been given the opportunity to negotiate with Pidgeot. So I would like to be given that opportunity if you would give it to me.
And Mr. Mayor, the only thing I would add in hearing that was that it sounds as though the city's budget of 1.5 million, which the city has indicated is what they're looking to spend. It doesn't sound like what you even have before you meets that. So the point of a broker is to go get that done for you. And the broker in this case has come in knowing that it has to accomplish a job.
Actually, Mr. Johnson, first, wait to be recognized before you speak again. But I think that our budgeted amount probably has been 1.587. I think it's probably the exact amount that's in this quote, which begs a whole nother question since we haven't awarded it yet.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to speak to the preferred quote when I have an opportunity.
If there's a question from council, otherwise, there probably won't be an opportunity. Council members?
Trina?
Yes, Ms. Wilson.
This is the first time that I've kind of had to deal with this, but I do know that I have some experience with Brown and Brown as a provider. And in the time that I've had with them, I dealt with them for almost over a decade. And they were excellent from top to bottom, always very personable in terms of meeting the objectives. And like I said, I was a very,
Oops.
and it becomes important for me to understand, like when we take a look at our broker and then being able to ensure that that our city gets the same kind of personable brokerage. When we take a look at these drops in cost for us over the last 5 to 6 years, what would be the mitigating circumstances that would cause for a change at this juncture? And the only concern that I have also is whether or not we would be able to get the kind of coverage that allows us to cover this communicable disease thing, where we could take care of our employees if we need to, and be kind of assured that they would receive the kind of health coverage that's needed to keep everybody confident that they'll be okay in this process, because health is the new wealth. So, you know, if there is a change, then tell me why I should make it.
I'm not making an argument for either.
Yeah,
My computer went dead, so I'm on the manager's computer now. So if we have to bring him back on if he needs something, they're plugging it up or something right now. I guess this meeting wasn't supposed to be this long. I'm back up. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're muted.
Ms. Wilson, that's a good question. I'm pondering it because from my perspective, the brokers that we used to get here were the brokers who are presenting for the other team now. But I'm very comfortable with our service at Brown and Brown, but I was comfortable with the Florida League. So I'm still processing that. But just a correction, this isn't our health insurance. That COVID coverage was for workers' comp. So this is something completely different. We're looking at, well, I think that we're covered in some respects for health insurance and COVID, because if somebody gets, you can go to the doctor, we still pay for that stuff. So this is our workers' comp, and how the industries generally deal with that is important, because now we know that we have to look at stuff like that with regard to the city's exposure. And that won't just be for our workers. In some respects, that's going to be stuff like Jazz in the Gardens and our gap coverage and stuff. But so we look at it from a different perspective now. So I understand that. Okay. Questions, comments from the council? Mr. Manager, would you like to add anything?
No, Mayor, I have nothing to add. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, if we do have an opportunity, it's important that we clarify a point made by the other party. So I realize I haven't been asked a question, but the vote is being taken on some misinformation.
Go ahead, please clarify.
Thank you so much. I apologize about the length of this whole process. So Mr. Flores indicated that he would be negotiating with Pidgeot and FMIT. Unfortunately, that cannot happen. Pidgeot will not provide a quote to Halifax. If Halifax is chosen in this process, Pidgeot will rescind their renewal quote.
I don't think he said that though. I didn't hear that. I heard him say he would be negotiating with FMIT, the league is what I think he said, but.
Well, I thought he said that he would negotiate with Preferred, so I apologize if he indicated that.
No. I think he said that Preferred was given the opportunity to negotiate. Or PRIA was given the opportunity to negotiate, so you could provide the lower quote. And I didn't hear him as saying that.
The fact remains that the quote will be rescinded from Pidgeot, unfortunately, if Halifax is chosen. They're just not an appointed broker with the city's current insurer.
Why is that?
Preferred uses specific dedicated insurance brokers. It is their choice. It is their method of distribution. And not every broker has access. Not every broker qualifies to represent the program. They are run by a board of elected officials, the Board of Trustees, and that has been their method of operation since 1999.
Right. Okay, thank you. Mr. Flores, you want to speak to that quickly before we bring this in for landing?
I do. I just want to clarify something. Accentria has an appointment with Preferred Governmental Insurance Trust and has current clients with Preferred Governmental Insurance Trust. The prohibition is against me personally. They won't let me quote, but they'll let my organization quote.
Not for Miami Gardens. I have it in writing.
Right, I understand that, but they won't let me represent Pidgeot in any quote whatsoever. And in turn too, the Florida League of Cities does not work directly with Matt or Paul either.
That's true.
And
They work
so,
direct with cities.
and so it kind of cancels out one another, right?
Mm-mm.
I can tell you all are all friends. All right. Mario, mute everybody but us.
All
Yeah,
right, will do.
all right, council, I'm ready. I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion to make Halifax the insurer of record, the broker of record. Mr. Stevens, you had something? You raised your hand? Okay. It's been moved, has been seconded.
Second.
It's been seconded by Councilman Williams. All right. All those in favor of having Halifax be the broker of record, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Show it carried. Thank you. We've done reports. I need a motion. Show us adjourned. Thank you all.